Welcome to the Man United show, and what a day it is. It's the first pod since the emphatic win against Liverpool. Yes, the Scousers were beat 2-1. What a day it was, and we're about to relive it now. Yeah, here we go down. There we go, fist bumps in the air. Yes. The team that so many people wanted to say were favourites to win the title, even though they lost one of their main players. But that was nothing. But Man United absolutely trounced all over him. And not just that, Jadon Sancho had so many pelters before that Liverpool game. Silenced the critics with one of the most composed goals surely you're going to see this season. I'm joined by a full panel tonight. We've got Nathan the Duke Ellington, of course. How you doing, Nathan?
I'm feeling good.
You've got Garth Lewis. How you doing, Garth?
Yeah, good, mate. Thanks. Yourself?
I'm good. We've got a very, very smiley Dale O'Donnell from Stretty News. How you doing, Dale?
I'm doing really, really good.
he's trying to hold in the slow. And of course, Mr. Positive, it's Marcel. How you doing, Marcel?
Good, thanks. Welcome, everyone. Excited to talk about today, man. Excited today.
All right, who we got in the comment sections? We got Paul James in there. We got Stretford Sean. He says the suspense. Suspense of what? Of waiting. Oh, and a beautiful week it has been. It has been a beautiful week. It's been a beautiful week. Let's we've got Dale in, yeah. So let's go straight to transfer news. Dale, yeah. We've got the Casemiros. We've got the potential incoming of Anthony. We want to update on De Jong. And we want to see if there's any outgoings or potentially any more incomings from there. First and foremost, what's your thoughts on the Casemiro deal? You needed a midfielder. De Jong, it may happen still, it may not. But Casemiro, it's one that's over the line. What's your thoughts on that one, Dale?
Absolutely buzzing with the deal. To be honest, I know they paid a lot of money for a 30-year-old. You're not getting his best years. But I think if you asked me at the start of the summer before Ten Hag was appointed, what kind of midfielder I wanted or what I thought United fans would demand, it would be a defensive midfielder that would come in and add a bit of bite and a bit of grit, someone that can nearly manage a game, manage the tempo of the game, because we have no one to do that. And we had Nemanja Matic, whose legs were gone for the past 2 years. And it's funny because if he hadn't been sold, I'm not sure we would have got this Casemiro deal or that we would have actually pushed for it, because this club has shown incompetence for years. It's been years since we needed a defensive midfielder. And I think this is exactly what we needed. And just to get onto the Casemiro thing and potentially missing out on Frenkie de Jong, I think maybe Ten Hag in the first few weeks of the competitive games since the Premier League season's begun has realised that maybe it's not time to spend so big on a passer for this midfield. That maybe the United fans are right. They need a defensive midfielder. And I think it's a really, really good alternative option, because as much as I really rate Frenkie de Jong and think he's one of the best midfielders in the world, I still think we'd need someone else beside him if he was to come in. With Casemiro, I'm not too worried about that. I think he can do that job on his own.
All right. Nathan, fun fact before we go on, Casemiro's name is actually spelt wrong. It's actually spelt with an I, although in a game for Sao Paulo, they put an E by mistake. He had a great game, so he decided to keep it. How about that for a fun fact? Nathan. Nathan. Any pub quizzes coming up? Casemiro spelled wrong. Nathan, what difference can Casemiro make?
Massive difference. You know what McTominay does in terms of the destroying side, but then you have the ability to pass the ball under pressure, you keep the ball under pressure, find players, and just he's a general. He's been there, done it. He's won the Champions League how many times? He's been in Real Madrid starting lineup for how many years now? He's 30. He's still got about 5 years to go. When you're 30, you're not done. You're far from done. He's far from done. And you look at the other players in the league now, I'm sure he's not, he's still younger than the likes of your Van Dijks and stuff like that. So I know he's not in the same position, but he's still young like that. And then you look at Fernandinho, how long he gave City. You know, when you've got a good team around you and you're now Casemiro joining this, it's a much different situation as it would have been last year. And like even looking back at it now, I would have even thought, you know what? If Matic was still here playing with that kind of team around him, we probably wouldn't have been saying, get rid of this guy. We can't have him. It's a weird one. But obviously, we would have definitely wanted to have Casemiro and an upgrade. But I'm saying, like, that's the kind of difference it makes when you pick the right players who have the right combinations, and then players start playing their best because they're flourishing. And at the end of the day, Casemiro is a great addition to the side. And he's just going to add so much steel. You already saw what Martinez just done to Liverpool. You saw how Malacia's tenacious like a madman. Imagine Casemiro added to that mix now. I can't wait. I just can't wait until Anthony joins the whole crew as well. I just can't wait. I'm going to say, I can't keep talking. I'm stopping now. Stopping.
That was beautiful.
Garth, he was a big advocate for a defensive midfield coming in. Can't remember who it was in the summer. The free transfer, who was it?
I like the Kamara.
Kamara,
Yeah.
Kamara was one that you wanted to bring in, but you got Casemiro, top player.
Yeah, let's just making this out there. I was not comparing Kamara to Casemiro. So
before the trolls start coming in and chopping up videos.
Listen, look, people are saying money, 60 to 70 or whatever it is for 30-year-old. He's the best in class in the world at what he does. How much would you pay for a 30-year-old Lewandowski? You'd pay top 120 mil for him. That's what you got. He's the best. He's the best in the world at what he does, and we've been crying out for it. So, would I make the deal? No, if I was on champ manager, no, I wouldn't. But that's because that's fake, and this is real life, and we needed it. We got people. It's one of the ones in it. Only fans, everyone apart from Man United fans, will say that we've had our pants pulled down on the fee, but I don't think we have. I really don't think we have. He's a born leader, and he really. I've been saying what's going to make that key difference to this team. A defensive midfielder, out and out DM, makes a proper trophy-winning difference to this team. 100, it really does. More for me than I've been saying than a De Jong. I know other people thought De Jong with his passing, but for me, just that shoring it up at the back. Frees up Maguire if he plays. Everything we've been whinging about. So yeah, I love it. A little bit steep, but apart from that, love it. And yeah, 30 years old, nice. It's no age in today's game. It's no age.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. Marcel, there was a lot of talk. I know you're a big fan of bringing in Frankie de Jong, but as Garth said, maybe a passer wasn't the priority for the central midfield role, especially if you think about, look, you've got a passer, but you still got Scott McTominay and Fred behind that are meant to be protecting them. So would you like, are you happy to see Casemiro instead of de Jong, or would you have rather seen de Jong and Casemiro on the back burner maybe?
Well, this is a problem we've had, Kieran, for maybe 5 years now, so it's a big fix. We've done the right thing. We've fixed an issue that needed to be addressed. And you would have liked for us to go in for a Declan Rice for longevity, but we've got a world-class footballer that's come in the door. So, and we're looking at leaders. We're talking about leaders. Ronaldo doesn't really want to commit to the club. Bruno, I think, is definitely a candidate for captaincy. But in terms of leaders, still, solid footballers, Casemiro's up there as one of the ones that could really drag the defense, help give calm when it's needed. The only issue that I would say is if he does get injured, you kind of go back to square one. You do maybe need to look for another player in there. And we have to be very vigilant, maybe, going throughout the season in terms of giving him the right minutes, getting him into the team bedding him into the team. But like Nathan said, once you throw Anthony in there and you've got the dynamism of Fred, it just looks like there's a bit of pieces of the puzzle coming together very well. So Casemiro is a class act. So very, very happy. I would have wanted to see Frankie de Jong, but I've got to agree with the likes of Garth when you're saying you want a destroyer in there. And Ten Hag's going to learn about this league. I still have 100% faith in him. And I think he's maybe looked at it and said, it's better me take this one now. Just drop the Frankie de Jong situation, maybe to the window, to the January transfer window, or just try and cultivate a Zidane Iqbal, there's still other ways that you can do it. Edson Alvarez is a 6 that he's utilized before as well, still aggressive, and you're going to get that in bundles and bundles with Casemiro. So I'm very happy.
All right, that's 4 very happy Man United fans there. Dale, another one that potentially could be coming in, it looks like he will be coming in, is Ajax's Brazilian superstar Anthony. transfer exchange show. I nearly said one of our competitors. The transfer exchange show reported that the deal could be worth up to 95 million euros. Some saying it's very steep. What's your thoughts on Anthony? Is it priority? Do you feel like you actually need an Anthony? And is it worth the money you're going to have to bring him in for?
Yeah, I think they've been chasing him all summer. He's been one of the main attacking targets. So I think if you're not going to get Frankie de Jong from a Manchester United perspective, then to not get one of his other primary targets would be very poor in his first summer. You have to deliver in somewhat. I know people are saying the price is steep, but you also have to realise that Ajax were laughing when they received the money they got for Lisandro Martinez. And when Manchester United come knocking again for an Ajax player, a star attacker, they're going to want excessive money again. They're going to want to weigh it up and say that, well, if you paid this money for Martinez, we want 90 million for Anthony. That's just the price United have to pay in order to get the target. I think it's a really interesting addition. I think what you're seeing is a few years ago, before Ronaldo came in, we had an attack of Martial, of Greenwood, and of Rashford, and there was lots of interchanging. I think Anthony could be one of those kind of versatile attackers as well. There's mentions of Gakpo being an alternative. So maybe Ten Hag is trying to mix it up a bit because there's no centre forward out there that's really appealing right now. And it's probably best to wait a year until someone shows up that United really, really want to spend big on. And in that, they've decided to go for a versatile attacker, someone that Ten Hag knows, he's worked with, he knows what his behaviour is like, he knows what he can bring to the dressing room. And I think a lot of people this summer have questioned about our targets being all Eredivisie based, our players that Ten Hag has worked under. Well, I think those questions were answered on Monday night against Liverpool because they showed up in the Premier League against a team that people were recently saying were one of the best teams the Premier League has seen. I'm not sure about that, but those players stood up and were counted in that game. And I have no questions about Ten Hag's targets anymore.
100%. I agree. Martinez, excellent, and your man at left back, especially considering. Look, we speak about Shaw, and we speak about the fact that he's not performing to his best abilities, and it sometimes needs a kick up the backside to do that. But it's only so many times you can do that. You need those sort of players, them top players, to motivate themselves to help the team along, and he weren't doing it. So. It was a bold decision for Ten Hag, but he made the right one.
Just on that, Keir, when you talk about motivating players and you're bringing in new signings, I think in the first few seconds of that game, everybody will remember this clip where Martinez rumbles into Salah, and in a second, then before Salah thinks about it, he's knocking him back, he shoulder barges him. That sets the tempo to everyone in the team that we mean business. And that Manchester United team has we haven't had that in years. Fans have been crying out for a bit of grit, a bit of nastiness. Bruno has a bit of shithousery about him. We've seen that against Liverpool, and I loved it. I know some people were going mad, but can you imagine how mad Liverpool fans were going?
There's some lovely comps out there, Dale. There's some lovely comps on YouTube of crying Liverpool fans going at Bruno there.
It's brilliant, and you need a bit of that. But Martinez, what he did was a bit of dirt. And you need that. We've lacked it for years. And Casemiro coming in, I know Nathan's just said it. Add that to the mix. If we're going to be out battled on the pitch by quality against Man City, I can accept that. But what I can't accept is that 5-0 against Liverpool last season and the game against City, we just thrown the towel in. So if we're going to get beaten, if you're going to get beaten, turn into a crowd of dirty bastards. At the very least.
Yeah.
Give us something.
You get beat on your dead body. That's where it should be.
Yeah. Yes, you are right, 100%.
Sorry for swearing.
No, it's all right. It's all right. No, it was in context. You know what I mean? You weren't just effing and blinding now. Like, and plus, we're Irish. It's part of
it. Dale, man, do you know what sort of wages Anthony's going to be looking at? Like, what roughly we're looking at to be giving him? Because that's been my worry for a while now, is if giving him another player we're going to bring and give him 275 grand a week when he shouldn't really, you know what I mean? It should be more 120 grand to start with.
Well, this is what I'm looking at as being very interesting with these new signings coming in, because I think I've said it on this show before that it's the first thing that I could change the model of Manchester United is the wage structure.
Yeah.
I think it's just what knocks us back on so many fronts when we're trying to shift players on loan, we're trying to get rid of players. the wages come back to bite us in the arse every single time. And with players like Anthony, you know, you're paying big money. So you're basically saying he's going to be one of the stars you're building this team around. He's obviously going to be starting. I'd imagine he's going to be among some of the top paid players, but I don't agree with that personally. I think you should be bringing these players in and making them work for it. You look at the savage money that people like Rashford are on, even Sancho right now. I don't blame lads, not saying they do this, but at that age, if they just stop working hard, you know, it's very hard when you're getting that money to, if you don't have goals in your career. And I think what United should do with players like Anthony is say, yeah, we're going to spend big money on you. You're coming to this fantastic, the biggest club in the world. You will be well paid, but set these goals first. And I know it's going to be difficult in the modern game. Nathan, you know a bit more about this with some of the big clubs, with Man City and Newcastle now throwing the cash. It's going to be difficult, but I do think if United had the right structure in place and we were a lot more appealing, it would be a bit like what we see with Bayern Munich, players wanting to go there. There's no reason why Manchester United can't be like that, apart from the Glazers.
Yeah, just, you know, on that situation when people get paid, I totally agree on the point of shouldn't be paying players until they actually reach a certain level of achievement. You know, so many players today are on so much money before they've achieved. One thing I do say is that for me, it never made a difference how much money I made because of my ambition, like the way I want to play. Every time I'm on the pitch, whether I've got money or no money, I want to win the game. I want to score as many goals as possible. Not the same for everyone, that's for sure. There are players who are just, they don't, like we see with Shaw, relaxed. But that's just his type of person he is. And I don't think you'll ever change that. Some people are just like that. And no matter how much money or how little, they'll go, they'll play. And then all of a sudden they'll be playing really, really well. But they've just got themselves into a groove of playing well. And then they just lose it. And then they don't really think, man, I want to get back to that level. They just, if it gets to that level, gets there. If it does.
There's no,
That's
there's
how,
drive.
Yeah. So when you look at certain players, you think, why the hell have you not got that drive? That's why Alex Ferguson would have said, listen, I don't want that player because he doesn't have the drive to be the main man and to be a winner every year. You listen to people like Kobe Bryant. I want to win it. And then next day I'm in the gym again because I want to win it next year. I want to beat everyone else and do more than everyone else because they're going to be working hard, trying to work harder than me. But no one's working harder than me. Some people have it, some people don't. And I think that's why Sir Alex Ferguson was so good at what he did, at finding players. And when he saw they didn't have that inside them, he moved them on, even if they were good. Move them on.
But Nath, do you think that was because you had that grounding of non-league football first? Because if you look at some of the people that have come up from that, I don't feel like their first fault is the money. They've got that different hunger and drive. And if you look at the players, just for example, Jamie Vardy, Ian Wright, they've played on till longer and like so much later in their career, and it never felt like it was a money issue. Like, look, Jamie Vardy could have gone to Arsenal, but he decided to stay at Leicester, and he would have earned a damn sight more money than he would have at Arsenal than he ever has at Leicester. But that wasn't his goal. His goal was, okay, this is the team that brought me here. They gave me an opportunity. I'm going to stay here and show them and thank them. So, do you think you had that because of your ground at non-league level, or do you think it didn't make any difference anyway?
You know what? It's a hard one because I've come from that. So I guess I can speak for people who come from that. That's number one. And then you're working your way up. That's one thing. But one thing I told you before, was players who are at the top. It's like, like if you're born in a family who are millionaires and family just give you everything you need. You don't appreciate not having, you get what I mean? So when you just continue living, you might have a Mercedes, you might have anything. And you're just living with it like it's normal, like it's nothing. So it's a bit different from not having and then having and then realizing this like that it's hard work to get to that level. And that might be the thing, because if you come up through a Man United, a Man City, you're at the top, you might feel you're too privileged, and you come down the league and you get peed off with players who are not so good, peed off with the pitch. So then you might not even bother trying. I think it's not the money. I think it's just the feeling that that's my level and that's what it should be. and if anything less, I'm not really gonna bother. And that's what I think that's the way I'm looking at it, and the way I think a lot of people think, because not many players come from top league, they get brought into the top league, they go down the leagues and then come back up the leagues. It doesn't happen. They come down, they get frustrated as hell. My friend was exactly the same. My teammate, when I was 17, he was 17, went to West Ham, played against Liverpool at Anfield, 1 game, trained with the first team once, Joe Cole, Lampard, Rio, all them boys, he was training with them. He called me and said, Nath, come, man, they want you. West Ham want you. They want to sign you. I said, I was told, don't go, because you don't want to be a small fish in a massive pool, and you'll find it very, very hard when you're playing with all these top players, finding you on carpets, and then you come down, and then you have to get back up again. I remember I went through the leagues, and I was like, wow, there's one player in the team. He's amazing. He can find me. Then you go up one league and you go, oh my gosh, there's 2 players in the team that can find me. And wow, the pitches are so much better. Wow, this is so much, you know what I mean? Wow, I've got 2 wingers and fullbacks now that can find me. This is unbelievable. You start getting better. As you get better, you got better players around you. You just feel a lot better, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I feel that's kind of the way I understand it anyway.
That's great insight, Nathan.
There we go. This is why he's here. That's brilliant. Love that. Garth, do you look? Even though Anthony's potentially coming in on for 95 million euros, a big money, that you can't expect Man United to pay him that level. If you understand that sort of level of money in wages, because like he's going to be one of the most expensive players of all time. So you can't make him one of the most highest paid players of all time. Surely you can't. What's your thoughts?
I'm sure his agent will draw direct correlation to being the most expensive player of all time, and and that's fair. That is what it is, isn't it? You know what I mean? This is the problem. This is what Dale was saying. I think like you buy him for 95 mil, you have to pay him accordingly as a 95 million pound player, which is like you just said is one of the most expensive players in the world, which then begets one of the biggest wage packets in the world. Because he's untested and came from Ajax in 22, you can drop it down a little bit. But I'm still expecting him to get 270. 250, like 230 minimum. I can't see him getting less than 250. But because
and that would be a sign, Gareth. That would be a sign that they're not going to change the wage structure. There's no plans. That's just keep persisting with.
The Casemiro deal made it look like they're not. You know what I mean? Like double his weight. And I know it's only up to 300, but still. He's on 185. You can easily give him 250. You don't have to double it, do you? You know what I mean? So.
The one thing with Casemiro being at 30 though, and signing a player like. If you are signing a player at 30 and he is the best in the world at that time, then I understand maybe paying him as one of the top, or making him one of the top highest paid players in the squad. But it has to come down as well to age. And you're saying Anthony is what, 22, 23?
Yeah.
No, he's nowhere near his peak yet. And you want to be paying him his top money when he's at his peak, maybe in 2 or 3 years' time. So setting out goals for the player and keeping him on tune, whether money motivates him or not, it's just good for the whole squad to see that there's a pattern place and that no one is getting a shortcut unless you're vastly experienced and are coming in with 5 Champions Leagues under your belt.
Yeah, I honestly, I'd do it like you're talking about, as a incrementally, it goes up incrementally every year, be it 10, 15, 20 grand your wage based on how well you've done, you know what I mean? So like you're saying, you start on 120, but after your 5 years here, you can easily be on 200, 220, 250, depending, but that's old school. It's modern football, man. Let's face it, trainees are earning 12 grand a week. So, like the top end one, it's madness. Like it is what it is, isn't it? So it's just football now. That's the money. So
it's very true. Marcel, you've been sitting there very patiently. Love it. So we've seen Malacia, we've seen Martinez come in, we've seen the mentality of those. Casemiro, we know he's a monster. He's got that top mentality. He's a European Cup winner. Potentially, is Ten Hag bringing in the right characters? Do you expect Anthony to be of that mentality as well? Otherwise, maybe he wouldn't have brought him in or fought so hard to bring him in.
Yeah, I think, like we was mentioning before, Eredivisie type players or players that he knows. So he's got the characters, he knows what to expect from them. And I think that's the route that we're going down. Again, leaders in Casemiro, talking about wage structure and contracts. Malacia's he's a young player, hungry to play and prove himself. He's on a lower contract, maybe one of the lowest players in the team. He has to prove himself every week. He's competing against a guy, and when we're talking about wage structure, he's competing against a guy that's on 200k a week. No achievements. Who else is there? Maguire, no achievements, high wages. Rashford, even 250. Martial, 250. Juan Mata, how much was he on and didn't get many games? So we're talking about wage structure. I think that's very, very important. That was right there in terms of, and everyone, to be honest, is right in terms of getting that wage structure correct relative to even performances with other teams in the league. Mo Salah was begging for 300 at one point and has been top goal scorer time and time again. It doesn't make any sense to me how we've been paying players, and that speaks volumes of the Glazonomics. And if we go and pay Anthony, that hasn't kicked a Premier League football yet, over 200. We even done it to Sancho, 325k, guys, and hasn't kicked one Premier League football yet. So it just speaks volumes of where we're at in terms of paying players, and hopefully that changes. The likes of Ronaldo goes, the likes of David De Gea goes, and you take away a big chunk of that wage structure, and I think that balances the egos. If to be honest with you, Kieran, that's an important aspect of the team. If we're going to you got to have your captain maybe on your highest wages or in and around of it, and I think that's going to be maybe Casemiro or Bruno at one stage. Just a quick question though, Dale, on terms of right backs. I've got in my mind Dumfries, I've got in my mind Thomas Meunier, and I've got in my mind Pavard. If Aaron Wan-Bissaka goes, which one of those three are we looking at? And is Brandon Williams going to be part of the system that we're going to have as well? Because he's still at the club. So there's a lot of options there in terms of right backs. Or do you think, talking about Glazonomics, are we just going to make do with what we have, or are we going to go into the market for one of those three?
The one name of a right back I was given was Dest, Barcelona, former Ajax player. I understand that if the move is made for him, it'll be late in the window. So it's not something that they're working on or even considering yet. I'd say it'll depend on what happens between now and next week. As for Brandon Williams, I understand he's staying at the club. I know there was whispers at the beginning of the summer that he could be loaned out or sold, but I think that Ten Hag quickly came to the conclusion that when he left Ethan Laird go on loan, you couldn't just fall back on Wan-Bissaka as Dalot's backup. You really can't, because Wan-Bissaka is like the antibody to what we're trying to do at fullback. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Or it is a bad way, but I don't mean in a disrespectful way. He's the complete antibody, I'm afraid. And there's just no getting around that. You see players be shoehorned into positions before, but asking Wan-Bissaka to get forward.
I mean, there was a moment against Liverpool where he had to clear the ball and he completely miskicked it.
He got a nosebleed.
Another question.
Lack of oxygen that'll out the pitch,
Yeah, but look, it's something, Marcel, that I think Ten Hag really wanted to address this summer. He got in at left back when we didn't really. I was more expecting a right back to come in. He got in the left back he wanted. And I think what I was whispering, or what I was being told throughout the summer, was with all these targets like De Jong and whatever, a mention of a right back was always there. But who that was never really revealed. Like I said, Dest is the only kind of name I've been hearing.
Yeah. What about the traction on Asensio? Sorry, Kieran. Just quickly on Asensio. Obviously rumored to be part of the plans in terms of Real Madrid, or offered to us. What do you think in terms of what could? I don't think he might be able to add anything to us, but I don't see him as a right winger. So then where do we fit him in? Is it possible that we get him? Is it?
I haven't heard anything on Asensio from Manchester United. Absolutely nothing. And I seen it popped up today in a few reports from Spain. I didn't see too much from the English media on it either. So this could be one of those ones that just pops up at the end of the transfer window. With Asensio maybe sniffing around to see what offers he can get elsewhere, because agents, players, and everyone knows that if you can tag Manchester United's name alongside your client, it's going to gain traction. But look, he's a really good player, but I think the problem with him is, you ask me what's his best position. He's another one of those players that I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
So where he can fit in. I think in Nkunku is one of them as well. If you watch Nkunku closely, a lot of people kind of suggest that he's this player that would be brilliant at Manchester United, but they kind of outrule the fact that in Bundesliga you've got so much space to run behind, and if you got pace like in Cuckoo, you're going to score loads of goals. And there was lots of United fans kind of roaring from the rooftops this summer with Ralph Ragnick. Oh, he suggested him, we got to go and sign him. But I look at the players we brought in, and I'm much more happier with what we got.
Yeah, no, Asensio's agent definitely gets his gets his money's worth. He's always doing the business when it comes to linking him with everyone out there. Curtis, before we go on quickly, Curtis says De Jong is a box-to-box player. Casemiro is an out-and-out DM, CDM. We still need a Pogba replacement. Now, is there going to be any Pogba replacement? Is De Jong potentially going to come in still, or is that one completely dead in the water?
Do we need to replace Pogba?
That's what I was about to say. That's exactly what I was about to say. Yeah.
Like the thing is, right, we've already replaced Pogba because we've got in a midfielder. Look, you got in a midfielder that has a role.
Yeah.
In Casemiro, you got a defensive midfielder in. You play Pogba in midfield, and I said to someone the other day about the Liverpool game, I don't think you get that performance with Paul Pogba in midfield.
Yeah.
Luxury player. I'm not saying he's not world class, because on his day he is.
Yeah.
But for far too many years, Manchester United have signed luxury players. Now it's time for a bit of fight. Now it's time to get in guys that, like I said at the start of the podcast, are dirty. And they know how to play that way. I really want to see this for Manchester United. Like I've said this for years, actually. When Mourinho was appointed, I got really excited. Not the prospect of us winning things or winning league titles. I thought we were still far off from that. But I thought he would make a nasty team, a really nasty team to play against. He didn't really get the backing he wanted, so we didn't see that. But I'm starting to see a few of our signs that we're getting this summer with Casemiro and that, who is technically gifted as well. But that nasty streak, I can't stress how much I really want to see that back at Man United. Because if we're not going to be the best in the land, just don't make us easy to beat.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, Dale, thank you very much for coming on. Appreciate your time and effort. I'm sure we'll have you on before the transfer window closes.
Will do. Thanks so much for having me, lads. I always enjoy the chat.
Thank you, Dale.
Take care, mate.
Take care.
See ya.
All right, what a time. We might as well go to a Liverpool recap. First of all, we're going to go through a couple of comments, but get your comments ready, boys. I know you've got plenty to talk about this game. I'm going to be hitting you with questions, don't worry. Mary says, give Bruno the captaincy. Willie Van Persie beats some of these names. I don't know where you pull them from. 95 million euros is ridiculous money, but it's not our money, so who cares?
Exactly.
Ajax hiking the price on Anthony 3 times ain't helped us. They can do it, but it's greed at the end of the day. Well, the thing is, it's not greed, is it? It's not greed. This is a player who's only been at Ajax for 2 seasons, and he's recently signed an extension. So if the club don't want to sell him, like, you've got to pay premium. Like, it's not as if his contract's running out, he's got 2 years left. Like, he's been there a couple of seasons. You want to buy the player off of him when they do not want to sell, you've got to pay a premium. It's not greed at all. Our budget will be affected because it's Anthony. He ain't worth 95 million. Name players that are.
But that's what I was about to say. In today's market, he is. This is the thing. This is what I was going to say, like, about Casemiro. Like, I was having with our mate Chris, and he was it's so much money. I'm like, we paid 50 mil for Fred. Are you telling me Casemiro's not £20 million worth more of a player than Fred? Because he is, even at 30. This Anthony, from everything I've heard about him, is the next big thing. Like, so he's worth 95 mil. Euros. What's that? 85 English. Like, we paid that for Lukaku. Like, this is what you got to pay for the best of the best in Europe. It is too much. I understand it. I think it's ridiculous, the cost of transfers now as well. But that's the going rate. It's the going rate.
That's the problem. All transfers are too much. So in this inflated market, he's definitely worth it, because if you look at Rashford, how much would Rashford get sold for? In and around a similar kind of money. And then you're saying, okay, how can Anthony not be worth it then?
Yeah.
You know, and then you've got Gordon going for 60, 70 nearly, maybe, or something like that. You're looking at all these players and you're thinking, wait a minute. You know, I remember who was it that went from Southampton to Everton, and he was like 50 million. And I was like, wow. And that was like a few years ago. That was 50 million for a player I thought was maybe worth 20 million, you know? So these are the kind of moves that are happening these days, and you just got to get on with it, mate. Just get on with it. It's inflation. Let's go.
Like, it's ridiculous. This is the thing. People will start thinking that you're saying it's worth it. No one's worth it. No one is worth. Prime Ronaldo R9 ain't worth 95 mil. But that is, if people are willing to pay it, i.e. Man United, that's the basic standard of commerce, isn't it? Basic of capitalism. Something's worth as much as someone's willing to pay for it.
You just said R9. You just said R9. He's worth 500 million.
Well, yeah, in today's inflated market, but that's what I'm saying, man. It's like, it is what it is. It all comes down to who's willing to pay for it, and if someone is, then he's worth it. So it puts a lot of pressure on him, though. This is why I don't like big money signings like this, like, because he has to perform immediately. He has to perform.
That has to be him. That's all he has to do is be himself. He's not getting that money. The club's getting the money. It's got nothing to do with him. Yeah,
no, but it does. Like, we say that all the time, it's nothing to do with him, but I don't like that argument because it does. Like, Maguire, it rests on his shoulders. He's the world's most expensive centre back, man.
To be fair, I'm going to go with this. When I got bought for whatever money, I didn't even know about the money. I didn't care. It's nothing to do with me. I didn't ever think I got pressure on my head for the money they paid for me. Now, Maguire, I don't think he's got pressure for the money. He's just not good enough. So he could never perform at the level he wanted to anyway. So to get him in a position where he could never do it. Some players can't handle the pressure. I understand a bit of playing at Man United with so many people and needing to score and hoping. But I think if Anthony can just be himself, I really believe more down the line of you can just be yourself and play your game. Like, I ain't getting 100 mil. If I got the 100 mil, it might be a bit different, but the club's getting the 100 mil.
I mean, you're in a unique perspective, Dave. You're a very unique perspective, so I can't really argue with you, but it feels, it feels like in the media, it feels like in the media, if like someone comes with big money, the moment you aren't performing, it's £95 million flop. Like, it's used as a target on your back, that money. Maybe you personally never felt it, but for me, I feel Harry Maguire does feel it. It weighs on him, I feel.
I think more I'm a flop. Not I'm a 80 million flop. I think it's just I'm flopping and I need to get back to playing well. Because it doesn't really matter about the price. All my point is, I get you on the point of, damn, I need to do well here. I'm not playing well. This is too much. Yeah, it is. I don't think it's to do with the money. In my mind, just in my opinion, I don't. Money.
Yeah, no. I think it would be. I think it's probably also slightly different now, just with social media in general. But I agree with Garth with regards to you get hammered nowadays with that price tag, and it might not even be the fans. Look, the fans are going to be the first one to point out whether they think you're worth that money. However, the media, and they are everywhere now. It's not just the paper, bit of teletext, the Sky Sports News. We're talking. It's everywhere. You can't go anywhere without hearing someone's opinion on something.
Yeah,
it's just in your face.
I'm just going to give you one thing, because it's the only one place where I went where I didn't do well, and that was Watford, They bought me for a record signing, 4.25 million. So that was their record signing, and it lasted for like 5 years, or 6 years. So I had left the club, and I just like chilling, doing whatever, and then all of a sudden some player comes and goes, finally, we get another player who's broken that damn record of that Nathan Elliott. Like, so I was the top guy for them, and I was poor. I didn't do well for them, if you get what I mean. Overall, I didn't do well for them. So, but I'd never, ever in my mind did it come into my mind about the amount. All it came into my mind was, these fans don't like me because I'm not performing like I was performing. I need to perform. But I just felt like the football was just not my football. I couldn't handle playing that kind of football. I'm like, why did you buy me if you're going to play this kind of football? Why don't you just buy some like 6'5" guy and batter him? To batter people. Why play me? That's all I was thinking. So never in 1 second did it come into my mind about money. I don't know why. It's just weird. I don't know. So although it was there, it was in social media. That was there at them days. And I still didn't think about it. So I don't know. Maybe everyone's different. Some people are different. They're going to be. It's just my point of view anyway. So we're both probably right anyway.
Two things can be right for sure.
Yeah, no, 100%. 90 million for Anthony. Ajax must be laughing at us along with Casemiro. Where is the selling value? I mean, Casemiro's 30 years of age. And if Anthony does well, then there's sell-on value.
Yeah, but, can I just say, sorry.
I was going to go to Marcel. I'll go to you next, guy.
Yeah.
Marcel, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's very hard to retain the sell-on value when they're worth so much. But listen, I think he's going to be in the squad for a long time. I think that's going to be his right winger, his first choice right winger anyway. So the value is in the fact that our manager really trusts and believes in this footballer. He's young. He's playing for the Brazil national team. So, and then in terms of Casemiro, it's a stopgap, temporary. It's a temporary one. But it gives the chance for a Zidane Iqbal, and not even a Zidane Iqbal, Charlie Savage. Charlie Savage should be really looking at Casemiro's game and trying to get things and learn how to improve his game, because he's coming through now. So gives him an opportunity to maybe step up and fill those shoes in a small way as he gets a bit older. That price, again, overpaid for sure, but it's a clear thing that we've managed to just get sorted.
All right. Garth, what's your thoughts on it?
I was just going to say, I absolutely can't stand the phrase "where's the resale value" when it comes to transfers in football.
Yeah, I don't know why you're thinking about selling on a player that you just forked out that much money for.
That's the problem with Man United is business decisions have been running football decisions for a long time, and to be like, what's the resale value? That's a business decision. The on-field decision is Casemiro's worth the money if he perform. Even if we only get 3 quality seasons out of him, like top quality seasons, he's still worth the 70 mil, because he will be the player that bridges the changing of the guard in this team. He can come in Britain and Taylor can find all his players in the Premier League. Like people saying Casemiro is slow, but in the Premier League will be fine. So I hate that resale value thing. I really do. It shouldn't be.
Right. Let's get on to the big one, because we're like more than halfway through the show. Jeez, I'm going to have to put a pause on these comments reading, people. Nath, Liverpool game. Let's just recap. What were your thoughts on the game? What was the big difference in this one that you haven't seen? No, and I don't want to hear just the name of a player. I need specifics. This is what I need, Nathan. I need specifics, because I don't want people turning around and saying you're gunning for this player, because that's not what you're doing. You're just telling the truth. Nath, what were the specific differences in this game to the other ones you've seen? He's going to say.
Right then. United were able to handle players 1v1 all over the park today. And we had players on the front foot, players who wanted to win and could perform at the level that was required of them. So in every position, we was able to do the job. And then the players that we feel maybe not really there yet, they actually played well. They didn't get carried. The players that you think, they could be squad players, they even stepped up and done a job, because it's not so hard a job to like mesh in with so much quality around you. So this is what we did. We put pressure on them. We stopped them playing their game. We did a Liverpool to Liverpool, and they got old heads in the midfield as well. If you look at the team, I looked at that set and I said, you know what? We got better midfield than Liverpool today. You know what? We got a strong back four today. You know what? We got some pace up front everywhere. That's what you need to win games. That's what you need to get in behind any team. That's what we had, and we made use of it. First of all, we made sure that we didn't get outworked. Second of all, we made sure we put people in and we ran in behind, and we had the determination to go and hurt Liverpool. That's why players who are capable of doing the job went and done the job. Even when you're not even playing to your highest level, you're going to cause damage to other teams. Pace kills teams, and pace from everywhere kills teams. And not only that, when you don't have just Bruno finding players, because you had Eriksen and Bruno, now it's just unbelievable. You've got enough. You've got so much stuff there. It's like I said to you before, when you got one player in the team who can find you, you're only hoping that player gets the ball. But now you get 2 players, and then you get a third player in the fullback. And you're like, wait a minute, I just need to make a run, and I'm in. And how many times did it happen? We had shots. We had that Rashford shot, which the keeper saved as well when he was blindsided. I forgot about that chance. A great chance. Great finish. Great, right in the corner. Keeper did great to save it. Elanga. And then Rashford, again, he should have really scored with that one. He bangs over the bar as well when he got through three people and smashed it. So to be fair, we had some clear-cut chances. and we should have won by more in the end.
All right. And do you know what? You didn't even mention Harry Maguire. That adds so much more credibility to it, Nathan. Garth, Benny says we won. That was different. Sure, it was more than that. Just winning. Like, I mean, just end this one now, innit? Who wants to hear about the reasons we won? All right, what's your thoughts,
a man after my like that is just facts, information. We won in the show, mate. Positive spin. Listen, Nathan's going exactly what everything Nathan said on the tactical side, the technical side of the game. He's giving you the full rundown of exactly what's happened there. For me, if we're going to go for the intangibles, they were hurting. You could tell pride was on the line in this game for some of these boys. Big shouts dropping Maguire and Ronaldo. I did it in my when we did our lineups for the pre-match. I dropped both of them in that. Never thought Dave thought that was going to happen. You know what I mean? Especially Ronaldo. Mm-hmm. So massive calls that paid off. Energy brought to the team by dropping Ronaldo. And look, he's the greatest of all time, apart from Zidane. But Father Time comes for everyone, and his time isn't at Man United anymore. Like anyone who watches Man United and wants to talk to me about Ronaldo being a major plus in this team, you're seeing it through rose-tinted glasses. You're seeing it through Ronaldo fandom. He can do wonderfully elsewhere for another team that suits his style of play. But look, he's still going to be great for us. He'll still score if he's still here. But yeah, pride. In terms of pride, commitment, desire, any of those ones that you want to use. You know what I mean? Something we haven't seen on a Man United in a Man United shirt in a long time. So yeah, it was just lovely to see for once. Desire mainly.
All right, Marcel, I'm bringing this comment back because I think he was an advocate of Bruno being the captain when, to be fair, that a lot of the other people were saying no chance, and me especially was saying I don't think it's the right mentality. But how wrong I was proved. He was putting a real captain's performance the other day, didn't he?
Yeah. Mary Stewart's definitely right. I've been an advocate of Bruno as the captain for a long time now. I think Casemiro coming in maybe makes it a bit different in terms of character, but you need to kind of get that leadership quality out of Bruno. I think he's the one in the dressing room that maybe is friends with everyone. Playing in that 10 position, we've seen Bruno best when he's given the keys. And that comes in different forms. You know, as a 10, you want to have two players protecting you, but also giving a 10 maybe the captaincy and that trust. But it's similar to Odegaard at the moment. Giving that captaincy to your 10 sometimes just makes them feel like, okay, I've got the trust of the manager and the understanding. And to be honest with you, our most fluid front three in Martial, Rashford, and Sancho, when Bruno's there, he's able to just switch the positions well with Martial, and then Bruno can do his creative runs that breaks the line. So would like to see him more as the captain. Again, we was talking about the shithousery, excuse my French, little parts of his game. He does need to change that a bit, and the rashness, lost the ball again at times against Liverpool. He needs to cultivate his game and taper it a bit, but that's Ten Hag's job, and I believe he'll be able to do that. So very, very happy with his display. And his pressing. If all the players were pressing and as aggressive as he was, and he has been at times, yes, he's a bit wild with it, but again, I think once you're under Ten Hag, hopefully that will become more structured. And once we have that kind of tenacity, and that's kind of infectious as well, Kieran. So positives from him to build on.
Yeah, I was someone who was definitely against it, but I am softening my view slightly. I would never give it to Casemiro. As much as a leader as he is, I can't have this give captains. Yeah, someone just walking into the team, you can't give their captaincy to. It
happened with Maguire.
Maguire, exactly. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? Like I had someone say for Varane, I still think it's too soon for Varane. He hasn't cemented himself as with the injury niggles as the first team regular. So it comes down to pretty much Fernandes is what we've got left in that captain. McTominay maybe. Like I've seen some people ridicule that, but I can actually see it. You know what I mean? One of them captains that pulls everyone up by their bootstraps sort of captain. The only problem is he won't play enough. So yeah, it comes back to Fernandes is going to get it, and I'm hoping what Marcel's saying is it comes to pass. It seems like it will mature him on the field. You'll see less. Yeah. And as for that bit with the kickoff, that's our ball. Like so, the scout. Yeah, I've got no idea what the scouts are banging on about.
I'm trying to be diplomatic and sit on the fence here. Yeah, but they always moan. They always moan. Scousers will always moan when they lose. It will be the end of the world when they lose. I'm sorry. Everyone does that. And if Bruno gives them the ball there, they take a quick kick off and go and score. What? I used to hate it, and you know, Garth, I used to hate it when the ball used to go off the pitch and then one of our players would pass them the ball, or it was a corner kick and they'd shout, stop it. And the players would stop it and give it to him for a corner. Mate, if the ball's fizzing off and it's going to go over a fence and the player says stop it, I used to look at it and then look at the player. And then because you don't do it. And back to you, Marcel, yeah? Shithousery is not a swear word. I'm not having it. It's not a swear word. It's not a swear word. It's a descriptive word, mate. Yeah. It's not a swear word. It's not a swear word.
But no, but that one in particular, that was our kickoff from Salah's goal from him scoring.
I know.
So like, I'm like, what? Like you, like it's one of them ones. Like I said, if the Liverpool players hadn't caused a scene, then Fernandes would have just walked the ball up to the centre spot. But because they try to grab it, then he's going to act up, and that's fair play. I've got no beat. You know what I mean? But no, it's our ball. Yeah,
I love it. Yeah. I love it. I got.
And there was a lot of people. I didn't realize it, but the compilations on YouTube are hilarious of like people very upset. Yeah. Very upset with Fernandes doing that.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So working.
Facebook user says, "Will Ronaldo see out his time at United?" I'm wording it slightly differently, Nathan. How do you keep Ronaldo? How do you keep him sweet when he's not playing? And he's such a big influence in the team. You're on mute.
You're on mute.
You don't keep him sweet because if he's not playing, he's not sweet. That's just the way it is for Ronaldo. He's a top player, and he obviously won't take anything less than that. So, you know, he might as well get moving, to be fair. I would like him to stay and hang around and be that squad player, but I can't see it happening. I just can't see it happening. I think... we're just going to get a Ronaldo who's just going to be proper angry. Probably there might be problems even from this if he ends up having to stay after the window and he's stuck on the bench. Because he's got to be on the bench. There's no two ways around it. If Martial's fit and if Anthony comes, he's going to go down the pecking order even more. Because Rashford will go up front instead of him as well. Then Elanga might be on the left, and then all you know it, is he's coming on for 5 minutes or for Europa games, which he never wants to play in. He never even heard of Europa before. So please, I think we need to sort that situation out as soon as possible as well. So it's best for all parties. And that's what I think about many players. Well, not many players, quite a few players that need to move. I even think we need to get another, Shaw can be a replacement for Malacia when he's tired. But I think we do need, now that Bailly's gone, I don't know what we're playing at, to be fair. I thought we needed Bailly. You know, if Varane gets injured, we're back to the same as before. So, you know, it's a bit of a mad one there. But, you know, I'm happy that we're looking at right backs as well. But, yeah, I would never have let Bailly go myself. No chance.
I don't know how. That is. I tell you what. Yeah, I tell you what.
That segue was awesome, Dave. That was awesome, bro.
That was unreal. Unreal. You just clap because I asked you a question about Ronaldo, and somehow you have crowbarred in Eric Bailly. Beautiful, smooth transition.
Yeah, smooth, mate. Smooth as silk, mate. Smooth as silk.
Unbelievable. I'm stunned. You've thrown me off completely. I feel like this is a conversation about Eric Bailly.
You know.
That question, though.
It's quality, though. Yeah, go on.
Do you think selecting Bruno had any part to play with the fact that Ronaldo ain't playing? Bruno's a part of that clique. Do you think that may play any part in him being captain there? So he's concentrating on being a leader rather than being sidetracked with his crony?
Yeah, no, I think he's just the obvious choice. I don't think Bruno, they're Portuguese and I'm sure that they're friendly with each other, but a click, I don't imagine it's that bad.
He wants his pens back, doesn't he? And his free kicks back.
He plays. Look, the stats prove it. Not everything can be proven by stats properly, but the stats are overwhelmingly in the favour of he plays better without Ronaldo.
Yeah.
As for Ronaldo, like I said to Nathan last week or on the post match, as mad as it is to say, just let him go. Aubameyang him. Just let him go. Because when, Nathan was just talking about, Elanga might play. The 5 players he mentioned, I'd all rather play in this system than Ronaldo. And that's nothing against Ronaldo. He is one of the greatest to ever do it. It's just in this system, I would rather play Elanga. as mental as that is, because he suits the system better. I would rather play Rashford or Martial through the centre. I'm talking about like, Ronaldo's the greatest goal scorer of all time, but yet I still would more rather one of these players. So look, a Ronaldo on the bench becomes toxic very quickly, and it will get out of hand very quickly, in my opinion. Like you got to remember, he's got other things that he has to consider, his endorsements and all of that nonsense, everything that goes with being Cristiano Ronaldo. He cannot sit on the bench in a World Cup year. Portugal, did they make it? They didn't. Yeah, so he can't. So yeah. I feel for him. Just to Bamiyam him, let him go. Take the hit. I don't care. Just take that hit. What we're going to get 12 mil for him if we sell him? Take it. So.
Two questions to you, Marcel. Do you cut the cord with Ronaldo, like Garth's saying? And second one, do you think Man United will?
A very difficult question. The latter. But so I don't think they will. You know, when we're dealing in the currency of Glazonomics, you know, commercially, I don't think it makes sense for them to do that right now. So they're most probably going to try and hold on to that commercial asset for as long as possible, which means they're going to have an unhappy Ronaldo. But I think they're going to just try and force Ten Hag to deal with that situation, try and manage him. And I think Ten Hag's just strong enough to be able to deal with that anyway. He will just keep him on the bench if he has to. And he's someone still to come on that will lift the team, especially as we're quite frail at times. He's definitely someone that can come on as a super sub or make a big impact. My personal opinion is he has to go. I mean, you know, the whole team, I think, that fluid front three, they score more goals. I think throughout a season, they will all contribute 15 goals a season each, instead of Ronaldo's maybe 25 for the season. Just because you have to kind of play to his strengths now when he's on the football pitch. Whereas, you know, and even Bruno, like Garth said, his game is much more better when that pressure of maybe having to deliver for Ronaldo is there. So I just feel like the balance of the team, and I think Ten Hag's all about making sure there's a balance of a team. It's affected, unfortunately, when Ronaldo plays. The interesting thing, though, is, Kieran, who comes in, and you need to replace Ronaldo. He has goals, so who do you get in, maybe? I think does that mean Garnacho? We see a bit more of Garnacho throughout the season. That's a positive for me. I would rather maybe get rid of Ronaldo and I see Garnacho on the football pitch for us maybe 15 more times a season. You know, I would prefer that. So, you know, there's a bit of a predicament there, but I think the Glazonomics means that he stays as long as possible. I'm hearing rumours about Sporting, though.
Yeah. See, the thing I'd add to that as well, when does it become he's a suit like you've got him on the bench all season? This is what I worry about. Man United don't win 3 games on the bounce, which is very easily can happen. New team and everything. Then all of a sudden, all you're going to hear is Ronaldo. We should be playing Ronaldo. We need, and then you start playing Ronaldo. You've got to start playing McFred because that's how it works in that form, and you slowly revert back to an old system. You know what I mean? Because of Ronaldo. I love Cristiano Ronaldo. He's not, but yeah, definitely doesn't work anymore, and it's a damn shame. And I was going to ask Dale, I forgot, but I'd like to know who. No one can buy him. It has to go for free. Who will take him though? You know, like Sporting. I mean, they're not paying him $500,000 a week, are they? You know what I mean? Like, it'll be interesting.
Yeah. There's no way. There's no way Sporting are going to pay anywhere near the amount of money that Cristiano. Even if I think there was talks that he would take a 30% pay cut. It's still not even close to what Sporting Lisbon would be able to afford.
Yeah.
Like,
what's closer is that they can pay 30%. You know what I mean? Not like take
yeah. And what Man United are gonna loan him out for a season? Nah. It's I just don't see it. Curlers says fit and desire all over the pitch. It was a joy to see a complete 90 minutes played for a change, where we were complete the whole game.
Talking about Bruno, most probably.
Yeah. He says that.
To be fair, Marcel, that could be for the whole team. That could have been for the whole team, mate. Like,
100%
right. Kelly also says Casemiro can't speak English yet, so that's a no for captain at the moment. I think Gabriel's trying to say it. Odegaard.
You don't need to.
I think this is meant to say Odegaard. Odegaard. Not been at Arsenal long. Why not Casemiro? If he is right for the job, then he should get the armband. But it's completely
he's not right. He's not right for the job. That's what I'm saying.
Also, it's a completely different situation. Martin Odegaard was at Arsenal for 2 seasons. He was on loan at Arsenal, and then he was at Arsenal for another season. So have this conversation if Casemiro is there for another 2 seasons. But I think the whole point that everyone's making here is he can't just walk through the door and be given captain. That's madness. Honestly, where's the respect from?
Well, and that's the thing. If we keep Ronaldo for the season, then in all reality, I could very much see the armband becoming. If we were to sell Maguire, I could very easily see him get the armband if he is to stay for the season, and then that throws up more questions. You know what I mean? So
I think Bruno will probably get it as he's already got it now. So, and he'll probably be the player who plays all the time. He just needs to be a bit more like a captain on the pitch. I don't like him dropping on the floor. I know it's
yeah, but you're going to get that from him, ain't you? You're going to get that from him.
Just so annoying sometimes when he's on, not pretending to be injured, and you dive.
That dive should have been, mate. That was disgraceful. That should have been a red card. That dive, it was so bad. It was like 2 feet from the geezer's leg.
You're so English. Like it's not a red card offence; it's a yellow card offence. Yeah,
no, I mean just the attempt. I mean for the attempt, it was so bad, bro.
In his jaw. Like,
I mean
it's a yellow card.
I mean the attempt was so bad. He should have got a red card, bro. It was disgraceful attempt.
I look at that the other way, Garth. Man, he wants to win something for the club. You know, he's trying his hardest. Everyone's been running their socks off. He's pressing the forward.
Look, I agree. It's wrong. No.
You need to become a manager, mate. You need to become a manager.
That was awful. That was a terrible one. Even as he was going down, he was thinking, "Oh, I should have done that.
I've just seen
stand up.
I've just seen Haaland do similar against Barcelona yesterday. I think I've just seen Haaland do exactly the same thing.
Yeah. There's VAR. When there's VAR, you can't
exactly.
The point. You get a yellow. You can't even tackle no one no more. So it don't make no sense to me. That one. That was just like, come on, come on.
But you're gonna get that.
You're gonna if you blew the whistle, you're gonna look.
You're going to get that with him as captain. And I had a problem with that, but it's softening that problem. I think it doesn't outweigh the cons. It doesn't outweigh the pros as much as I thought it did for him being like that sort of player. You know what I mean? So if he can lead by example on the field with his gameplay and his effort.
It's fine, but it's just annoying, isn't it? It's just like to lead by example, and that ain't an example.
No, exactly.
I think Martinez is an example of what you do as a people, and you barge them a little bit, make them say, "Yeah, I'm here. Come on." That's what I want to see from a captain. So that's the kind of performances you want to see every week. That's what Roy Keane did. So I want to see that.
Yeah. I think with players like Martinez, it's just an additional leader that you've got in the team. Doesn't necessarily need to be given the armband. And I'd probably say the same about Casemiro. Why do these people need to be given the armband when it's just an additional leader that you need on the pitch? It shouldn't automatically be that's a leader given the captain's armband. It's everyone needs us in the team. All right, before we go, I've got one more question. Nathan, Ten Hag, does it feel like he's turned it around? Are Man United back, or is this just the start of something good, or is it a false dawn? What's your thoughts on this?
What was that about, Eric Barry? All right.
Honestly, I was like, are you having a laugh?
No. What I saw from him in pre-season is what I'm seeing from him now. The one thing that I didn't like when pre-season finished was that he reverted back to what last season's team was. And then I said to myself, this is the time where I'm going to see whether Eric Ten Hag is actually the man I want in charge. He's going to have to make some bold decisions. That's what I said before the Liverpool game, because he's seen 2 games where we've been slapped, just the way we were getting slapped at the end of last season. Is he going to be the same as your Rangnick and keep playing the same players? Or is he going to be bold and take out Cristiano, take out Shaw, take out Maguire for the good of the team? And he did it. He did every single one of them. I was so pleased with just that. I didn't care about the result. I just knew what these players can bring to that team and what the quality of the combinations of players in each position could do for each other. That's all I wanted to see from this guy. He did it. He delivered. So some people in the comments saying you're getting too happy over one game. It's not about the win. It's about the way we performed. If we play like that, I was watching Leeds earlier on I think the day before, and on the Saturday, I'm like, wow, you know what? Leeds have got energy. Leeds are going at it. We play Leeds, we're gonna get bad. And then we started playing. We played on Monday just the same kind of intensity as Leeds and every other team. That should be a given. That should be number one on the list. No, that's a crime to not give that kind of performance. So now I'm seeing it because it's players who can actually do it, and I'm very, very happy that he's bringing in players as well that we're linked to that are going to totally make the team transformed as well. So I'm loving what I'm seeing from Erik ten Hag. I'm loving the fact that he actually did play them the first 2 games because he now knows that he can't go back to them. You know, if we went with his new players and then they started doing a bit of wobble, then he went to his old players, then it would be a bit of a, then we definitely, we'd had a bad time and then we had a worse time. Now it's, okay, I tried to do what Ragnick was saying was not possible. I tried it. I can see now it's definitely not possible. Bam, here's my players. Bang, we're killing it. So yeah, I'm happy. Totally happy. Could be happy.
Garth, does it feel like it's a turnaround?
No, it's one game in. Bottom line is he's still 2 defeats to 1 victory and 2 harrowing defeats as well, in all honesty. Let's be fair about it. What Nathan said at the end there, towards the end, is on point. It's hitting the nail on the head for me. It ain't about the result against Liverpool. It was the direction of the performance that I was very impressed with the most. But no, I can't sit here and be saying it's a turnaround yet, because I've seen this Man United team. We'll go and lose 3-0 to Southampton next week. You know what I mean? And so I'm not going to get too hyperbolic about it, but it's fantastic to see. I think that getting back to what Nathan was saying about is the performance. Someone said in the comments as well, like, I made a joke. I mean, we were on Monday night, so I didn't get to it, but I haven't been able to watch Match of the Day in a year because I can't go to watch another horrific Man United performance on Match of the Day, ruin the rest of Match of the Day for me. So it for once, we had a game where I could actually, even our wins in the last 8 to 10 months have been horrific wins. Either Ronaldo does it on his own or it's last minute winners here and there. So, yeah, the performance was excellent. I am very, very hopeful. It is very promising what I'm seeing from him, but he has to learn from each mistake he makes, and we have to not get too down when he makes the mistakes as well. And he has to learn quick, though. Looked like he learned quick with the defenders at Man United. Looks like he's learned quick about needing, like we all knew, really, a DM to play in the Premier League. So yeah, he looks like he's quick on his feet. I love his interviews. The interviews he gave with Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher was awesome. I don't know if anyone's seen that. Go and check it out if you haven't. Like the 20-minute, that's a great little interview. With the press, he's awesome.
Very honest.
Everything is pointing to good times ahead. I just don't want to get too ahead of myself. That's the way to put it.
Marcel, does it feel like it's a turnaround? Does it feel like things are on the up now?
Yes, 100%. That's the direction that we're going in. There's a big test though coming up this week because I think Southampton are a bit of a bogey team, and they're going to be playing a bit of the low block, 2 banks of 4 now. So we need to see how he performs against 2 banks of 4. You keep that same back 4, then you got a good chance. But we played at home in the comfort of Old Trafford. We were definitely the 12th man. It was an unbelievable atmosphere, but it's not going to be like that against Southampton. And they had most of the ball, Liverpool. So now when we're going to be dominating the ball, can we break down the banks of 4? Can Eriksen get and be involved in part of the game? Can we, be creative in our build-up? And there's not going to be much space in behind. They've got Ched Adams, who's also going to be a massive test, a bit different from the test of Firmino. He wasn't really testing our centre-backs enough the other day. Whereas Ched Adams is on form right now. He's going to be a bit more of a bully centre-back. We're talking about hungry players that have come from lower leagues. Ched Adams is in that category. Very, very good at the moment. So big test, but this is definitely the way up. And, I'm looking forward to both Southampton and Leicester because those are 2 games that I think now we can at least get draws or wins out of now.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Oh, Josh says I'm not getting overexcited.
Look, quickly, Martin, was the atmosphere when we went 2-0 up? Was it mental inside? Was it?
I'm hugging and jumping. I don't even know. Everyone's going crazy. It was beautiful.
The relief from the crowd like that must have been amazing. Like, I haven't played because everyone went in fearful we were going to get spanked by Liverpool. So I bet that second goal was amazing.
I mean, we could have been 3-0 up.
Yeah.
I mean, Rashford has an opportunity. Sancho just plays him through. Elanga hits the post, and then Sancho scores. could be 3-0 up for the first half. So
let's not get greedy. Let's not get greedy. We'll take what we can get, you know.
Yeah, 100%, but that atmosphere was beautiful. That's the first time, you know, we're talking about not winning match of the day. It's been horrible going into Old Trafford, not really, you know, and the away fans being louder, them coming out happy with draws and wins. So to be in that stadium and feel the theatre of dreams, really, for what it is, it was really beautiful.
Yeah, it always is.
Guys, I just want to let you know, get excited. So don't worry about it no more. We've got players here. Don't think that these players are going to change. Like Malacia is not changing. Martinez is not changing with Varane. You see Casemiro changing. Casemiro plays football. And when Anthony comes, he ain't changing. He's a player like St. Maximin is. He gets the ball and he does what he wants. And that's what Anthony does. We're finally going to get a player again in the team that does what he wants on the ball. He will take you on his own. And that's what we haven't had for years.
Yeah.
Now with that man. Find him.
Can I just throw it out there though? Isn't that what we spent £75 million on Jadon Sancho for? To be the man who comes in and does what he wants, and it hasn't worked for him.
Sancho's the player. Sancho is a pass and move and move and get the ball back. He needs someone to bounce it off. And his little jinking and one touch and running, that's what he is. He's not a give me the ball, I'll stand you up one-on-one. I'm going to beat you, cut back, beat you again, and come and dribble past three. You notice the difference?
Yeah.
Like that. I think Martial can do it more than anyone else in the side, but Anthony is out and out that kind of player. So Maximin, that's why I was saying years ago, like, you know, when we had not really that good players, I was thinking, you know what? I'd take Sam Maximin in this team right now because he just gets. I know he doesn't have a lot of end product, but, you know, last year he's getting better, but what he brings is give him the ball. He will just rip you. And he was tearing Walker last week.
Oh, mate, I would have St. Maximin over Dan James any day of the week, mate. Any day of the week. So.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. That's what they bring to your team. And a lot of teams have got these kind of players now. We need one of them. And that's the one. When he comes, it's going to open up. Like I say, it opens up the doors for all these other players. So, yeah, really, really, really excited about the future, man. Really excited. You got to get excited.
So, you see, that endorsement goes back to why he's worth 95 mil. Because if he does even half of what you're saying, it's worth the money, isn't it? So,
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and people say that it's not 95 mil because it's plus the add-ons and you want them.
Yeah,
like you want them. If you don't pay 95 mil, then there's a problem because it means you ain't hit the targets, you ain't got Champions League, you ain't top four. Like there's so many nuances that come with paying that 95 million that you actually want to pay it. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much that's all we have time for. I am going to quickly go for a couple more comments there so you guys can answer. So when you're racking your brains to find a captain for the club, that's when you give Casemiro the armband and stop all this club nonsense. I can't back that comment because
can't back it. Casemiro can't speak English. He can't have the armband.
He can't speak English. And I'd also like to see how often was he captain at Real Madrid?
I was thinking that. Not often, I bet.
That's what I mean. I don't know where this whole Casemiro captain's come from. Is it just because
they saw him? They saw him hug Roy Keane. That's what happened.
Here's a quick question then for you guys. Can maybe one answer it? Who's the long-term captain out of this squad that's there right now?
Bruno.
Yeah, Bruno. Or believe it or not, Arash.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was saying, or like depends how you do it, or a Scott McTominay. Like you could easily see him taking it.
He's not playing every week, so
I always wonder. This one, I mean, that'd be good. Where they do a leadership thing like Arsenal have done. Captain doesn't mean like captain. You're just wearing the armband. A club captain, you know what I mean? Something like that. So
yeah, I think a club captain is different to a captain that's on the pitch, like a captain.
I feel like a Martinez might get a captaincy down the line. Not now. I'm thinking down the line. He looks like
again. This comes down to how well does Martinez speak English?
Down the line.
Yeah, a couple of years. Yeah, a couple of years, mate.
I'll ask you a question. If you're, and this, I want your football brain, your football head. If you're Bruno and Casemiro comes in the squad and they take the captaincy off you and give it to Casemiro, what's your feelings on that?
That's not going to happen. I'll be like, that's deep. Like,
Thank you.
I'm playing every week. I can speak English. I know the lad for all these years now. I came in when we were dead.
Thank you.
I've been here the longest since the good players started coming in. Listen, I'm captain. And to be captain, simple. He needs to stay captain as long as he's leading by example. Simple as that.
Yeah, I
think
fully
Bruno
agree.
should be captain, to be fair.
There's a nucleus to the squad. There's squad politics, and no matter what people want to talk about, it doesn't play a part in it. It massively does. You play chat manager. You tell me you take out that random player that you don't think is anything in the squad. That team will tell you that what have you done? You've messed it up.
Everyone upset. Everyone wants to leave.
Press the reset button on that. Quick game. Start again. Not again. Start again. I'm not starting day one. Sold the player and the club ain't the players are unhappy. I'm like, nah, I'm starting this game again.
But you've already touched it here as well, which is Casemiro, Varane. These are leaders on the pitch anyway. They don't need the band on them. They don't need it on their arm. Bruno,
pretty much. He fits the bill.
So Garth, Bruno, keep the captaincy for you.
Yeah. I would, if we're talking about the game against Southampton, I wouldn't change that starting lineup one iota, apart from maybe give Martial, if he's fit enough for it. Then if not, stick with the same 45. Bring Martial on at half time and give him the second half like they did. But if he's fit for the 90, Martial. If not, exactly the same team. Yeah, all day.
All right, Marcel. I know your answer, but I'm going to ask you, Marcel. Do you keep Bruno as captain?
100%. I would like to see when Casemiro gets involved in the side, if he plays, it starts, because obviously Scott was starting. So does he maybe get 45 as well? Because obviously everyone's talking about, bringing Martial on potentially for the 45. There's 5 subs, so I'd like to see the likes of Casemiro and Martial. I want to see Martial start, really. But if he doesn't, then I would like to see him come on at halftime, and Casemiro as well, just to get him into the team. I'm worried about Martinez and Varane's fitness. They both looked a bit leggy after Liverpool.
Yeah, they had cramp. They'll be all right though. From Monday to Saturday, they'll be fine.
Hey, and Casemiro for me at that price should go straight into the team. I'm not one for this. Let him bed in. He's one of the world's best. Let him play. Just let him play. You know what I mean?
Been playing as well, hasn't he? So he should be all right.
He's match fit. He's match fit and everything. Yeah, just let him play. Let him play immediately.
All right, that is all we have time for. Make sure you join us tomorrow for the pre-match preview of the Southampton game and the tactical breakdown of the Liverpool game, of course, as well. Do not forget them 2 shows. Please press that subscribe button. If you are new to the show, press that subscribe, press that like, and press that share button. If you are a regular, please press that like and press that share button. I'm fully expecting about 20 plus likes at least tonight, guys, because I see you all in there. See you in the comment section. I'm expecting plenty of likes. So you miss me smashing that button because I'm going to go and check in a minute. All right. Thank you for joining us tonight, Marcel.
Thank you very much. Been good conversation today. So I appreciate you guys.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, Garth.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
And of course, my co-host. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, Nathan.
Let's get excited.
Someone swapped you for Marcel. All right. Peace out, people. Stay safe and wash your hands.